What age do you think you will let your daughter have a social media account?
There's only one trained monkey in this family, and it's me.
I was in my 30s and I thought I was way too old for Facebook.
You liar. Liar, liar, pants on fire.
I'm not a celebrity. Like, why would I need two phones, you know?
Patty's bat phone.
Having a social media presence where people even care what you have to say can be very short-lived.
Welcome back to the Then and Now podcast. I'm Larry.
And I'm Patty. And we are about to have a part 2 about the topic of social media because I yapped and yapped and yapped last time and went way over time. So we have a little more to talk about. This might be a shorter episode, but
well, you never know the way we ramble.
So I have gotten some questions in my Instagram stories about this topic. Most of them we already covered in the last episode, which was like handling hate and how do we keep having a social media presence from affecting our relationship. And we really covered those. Like, we dove deep into those topics. But we have a couple of other areas that I think are worth talking about. And so one of the questions that I got was, what age do you think you will let your daughter have a social media account?
Never.
Never. That will not go well with her.
No, she's chomping at the bit.
I don't know. She's 9. She's almost 10. She's halfway to 10. So
in her mind, she's 18.
No, she's not. But so this is like a very interesting then and now topic because all 3 boys, I think, were right around 10 when they got phones, right?
Yes.
So what do you remember about that?
I don't think that there was social media when they got phones.
Wasn't.
There was flip phones. Like it wasn't a thing.
I remember being so relieved for them to get phones because whenever they were away from us, like that's the age they started like riding their bikes up to the beach or like doing different things with friends. And I was such a worrier. I was always so worried, and I couldn't wait for them to have phones because I could reach them and they could reach me. It just felt better. But yeah, it was just a phone. Like they could text and they could call.
And they didn't really text because that's when you had to do every number. Like you had to, if there was no letters, it was like if you wanted S, you had to hit the 8 key twice.
Yeah.
Like it took forever to text. It was easier just to call.
Yeah. But I liked having that connection once they were old enough to be like somewhat independent, but there wasn't all of this stuff that there is now. Avery's our first child who's coming of age with social media apps like on your phone. But do you remember they did have MySpace and they did have Facebook probably around that time, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Maybe a little after that. They were like preteens probably.
I forget when MySpace was.
I wish I looked up the year. I know Facebook, like MySpace didn't last very long. And then Facebook was next. And we had a computer in our kitchen, like a little nook with a computer. And anything the boys did on the computer, we were like right there seeing what they were doing. It wasn't like hidden in their pocket or...
That was 308?
Yeah.
And okay.
That was the first time we had like a family. Like I had a computer at 305, but then 308 was the first time we had a family computer where they were... I remember Larry was Frigid Freezer on a drum forum.
Frigid Freezer.
Frigid Freezer was his name, and he would talk all about drums. But so they did do... Oh my gosh, you know what's so funny? I think it was when we were in California. What year was it that you broke your ankle?
That would have been 2000, the winter, maybe 2003.
No, it must have been after that. Because it was a trip where they had Facebook and they were trying to they wanted me to start an account and they were going to like open an account for me. And Facebook was new.
That was Monster Mama, but that wasn't Facebook.
No, Monster Mama was MySpace. Yeah. I'm talking about Facebook now.
Okay.
MySpace was just kind of silly, but they were showing me Facebook, and I remember thinking, oh, I like how it looks. It's cleaner. Like MySpace bothered my eyeballs. Remember, it was so cluttered and like all kinds of bells and whistles on the page. But I remember saying to Larry and Patrick, I don't think I should do that. It looks like it's all young people. Like it was all teenagers and like college-age kids. And I was like, I'm so old. I'm 35 or whatever I was. I was in my 30s and I thought I was way too old for Facebook, which is so funny because now it's like our parents' generation.
You're too young. Now we're 55, 56 and too young.
So Facebook over the last 20 years has aged into, or maybe everybody aged, I don't know. So we didn't have to worry about that with their phones.
Yeah, we didn't have to worry about that with their phones. And even so, when Facebook became a thing, it wasn't, the realm of social media isn't what it is now. There wasn't the hate. There wasn't like, it didn't seem like there was like,
because social media was actually social. It was people you knew that you followed and who followed you back. And there might have been some like friend nonsense or whatever, but it wasn't like now. It wasn't like this mass reaching thing like it is now.
Yeah.
It's something that we have to consider, because with the activities that Avery does, she's got like older cousins, she's got older friends and older kids that she spends time with. Like, she's around social media. Sometimes like at theater, she's on their social media. Like, she knows how it works, and it's what we do.
And like with the theater, when they do the takeovers, like she always wants to be part of the takeovers.
I know. And the hard thing is, like, there's just no way that I don't feel close to letting her have like full stop social media platforms on her own. But I'm like, we're definitely, wouldn't you say it's still in the place of like navigating how we're going to handle it with her?
Absolutely. Because she, as mature as she is in some ways for a 9-year-old, she's so naive in others. So it's like,
and she's like trusting. And on top of it, with her involved in like theater, and she's like, she wants to be an actor, and she does the things that she does are like sort of lend themselves to entertainment media. Like it's what she enjoys doing. And we've had people advise us, like a few different people, like some of the classes that she's taken, and some of like the parents of other kids who are a little bit further in this like theater
realm,
world.
like,
we have been advised to start an account for her, like a public one, like a parent run account for like kids, like sometimes you do if your child's in some kind of, public facing activity. I'm still not ready for that. Like, I feel like even that I'm not ready for. And if we do that, it would be a private account, at least for a while. Like right now, she creates things just for the joy of creating them.
Yeah.
Like, she'll make a video that never goes anywhere beyond the iPad. She just likes making it.
Well, she'll hear a song and see a trend over your shoulder, and then she'll want to like do a dance to that song, just to do a dance to that song.
Right, and she'll just save it. Like, there's this weird, and this is I think this happens even to adults, like where you stop creating something for yourself and just for the joy of it, and then when you start posting things publicly, it's a whole layer of like, what will people think? And like, you're posting more for other people and how they're going to perceive it. And like, she's too young to be worried about things like, well, more people liked that than this. It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not ready for her to have that, like, I don't know, like that heavy sort of like, I just want her to like stay innocent with it and just have fun with it for now. I don't know how long that's going to last. I'm holding off as long as possible.
But you're not answering the question. So when is she going to be able to have one?
Oh, my answer is genuinely, we're figuring it out. We don't know, but
we're on the fly.
We're navigating. This is new. Like, raising kids in the era of this level of visibility on social media is new. Right?
Yeah, I remember. It's funny because the first time I remember Instagram was when we were in California for a surf contest, and we were at Trestles, and somebody, like, I overheard the boys talking about this new social media, and I thought they were talking about Hipstamatic. So I like downloaded this app, Hipstamatic, which was like just like a photo, sort of like a photo filter app. And I'm like, what's all the rage about this? And then I realized like 2 days later that wasn't even what they were talking about. And I was like, the dad joke was on me.
Oh my God. Like, you were out of touch?
I was completely out of touch.
That won't be the last time, unfortunately.
It definitely wasn't the first time.
Oh my God. If Avery had her way, well, bring it back to having a daughter who wants to social media. So she said to me recently, your Instagram's kind of boring, when she was looking at it. And I was like, I wanted to know her little perspective. So I was like, why? And she's like, it's fine. It's like, just maybe like too much lovey-dovey, and you need more dancing. You need more like fun things on it. I was like, okay. Which just, it reminds me of, so this sort of is a good time to segue into, this is like, I told you that this is like such a touchy topic, but kids on their parents' social media. This is like a hot topic, and there's like a lot of hate for family vloggers and anybody who includes their kids in their social media. It's like, you've got like the people who do it and think nothing of it, and the people who think that everybody who includes their child in like a family photo on their public account is like in the same category as Ruby Franke. Do you know who Ruby Franke is?
I do not.
I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. This is a woman that I never followed or knew anything about until it's so funny how we have such different algorithms. But so she was this woman, Ruby.
I'm still hung up on the old ladies with OnlyFans bodies.
Oh, geez. So, okay. So this woman, Ruby, had a lot of kids, and she had a YouTube account. I believe it was called 8 Passengers. I've never seen it because by the time I knew who she was, it was already like off the internet and she was like going to jail. But so she had a family vlog called 8 Passengers, and apparently it was for a few years like super popular, like lots of views, and they made a lot of money. And then you don't remember hearing anything in the news about
well, keep going. I may remember.
So it turned out that her kids were like being pretty severely abused, like physically and psychologically. She was involved with another woman, and mind you, I haven't seen the documentary. I never watched. I'm just giving my impression based on what I've seen. People making videos about this topic, but so she's in jail now. So she was like abusing her kids, but she had some pretty extreme religious and parenting views, and was like teaching, or maybe I don't know if it was her or her colleague was teaching like a parenting course, but it was like really extreme, like depriving them of food and like tying them up, like all kinds of wackadoodle stuff. And I just think it's unfortunate that people who include their kids even occasionally in their social media presence are being lumped in with this like this is a woman, in my opinion, based on what I've heard, would have abused her children with or without social media, and maybe even worse if they weren't like visible to the public. Do you know what I mean? Like I just said, do you know what I mean again? So there's way too much child abuse in the world, and it's not necessarily related to a social media presence, like it's two separate issues.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of talk about kind of lumping this whole thing together and talking about how the children of family vloggers are going to grow up to sue their parents for giving them a digital footprint or whatever.
How does that differ from parents who sign their kids up to audition for commercials and movies and TV shows?
This is where I was going with this.
It's no different. And social media is a mass medium. It's just that it's not a big production mass medium. It's controlled by the person who's got the account. So you're still putting it out there. If it's on YouTube or if it's on Instagram, whatever it's on, it's available just like a TV show or a movie's available. It's not. It's just on a different topic. It's not and some of it is scripted. But it's not like it's any different. Any child who's on a TV show or in a TV commercial is publicly accessible to, just like anybody that's on a social media account is publicly accessible.
Mm-hmm. TV and movies and all those, they're like more, they tell a very specific story. I don't know how to say this. So, all right, to tie it back to kids on like TV and movies and all of that, there was like during the heyday of this being the topic of, at least in my algorithm on like TikTok or whatever, there was like a few people making videos about, like, this is something that I've heard like a sentiment repeated a few times now, that people who are against children being online or on social media, they will not follow any content creators who ever have their kids in their content because they don't believe children are old enough to consent. So they're not going to support that. They're not going to support it.
So how are they old enough to consent to be in a TV commercial?
Well, they can't. So this is what, like, I don't get involved in this kind of online drama conflict stuff, or I would have said this I would have asked this of these people. So if it's principle and you don't believe that children can consent to having their face on a public in a public format or platform, do you not watch TV? Do you not watch movies? Do your kids not wear clothing? Do you not shop at Target? Do you not shop at Amazon? Like everywhere that sells products for children, whether it's Amazon or a like tiny local business, they use children as models. So why is it that those kids can consent? Like, why is that okay? Is it because it's like the parents are the photographers or the parents are creating the ad? And why is it different? Like, it seems to me like it's another flavor of mom shaming.
If your stance is I'm not going to watch any social media account that they include kids on, then you really shouldn't be watching any movie that's got kids in it, any TV show that's got kids in it, any TV advertising that's got kids in it. Like you should just maybe unplug, move out to the woods, and live in a log cabin.
Right.
But no, they don't want to do that. They want to sit and they want to bitch about it, and they want to call people to task for it, and they want
tell us how you really feel.
They want to get all uppity about it.
I think some of the people talking about these things do genuinely mean well, but maybe they're not like thinking out their argument very, very clearly, because I think if you paint everybody with the same brush, no matter what the variables are, it's just not possible to scrub children from the internet, right?
No.
It's just not like they're a part of life, and so they're going to be reflected in places that are reflecting life. I think a much better conversation would be like the nuances of that. Like talk about where in there is, it's just, they're never going to just be completely scrubbed. And I'm not sure why they should be, which we will talk about like a little bit more. But it seems like most of the hate is for family vloggers who do it like the kids are like the focal point, you know?
So take, for example, like Ninja Kids that Avery watches. The kids are the focus of that. But those families are making a butt ton of money. I mean, I would think, the kids are going to be set. Kids are going to be the beneficiaries of it. And if you watch it, it looks like they're having fun. You know, there's a benefit to those kids doing that. They're having fun. They're putting out content that's entertaining to other kids. I mean, there could be so much worse content for children to watch, but they're watching that. It's all kid-driven.
I agree. And it's
Nickelodeon, look at Nickelodeon. All kid-driven. It's all kids shows.
I remember watching The Brady Bunch when I was little and being like, I want to be on a TV show. That looks like so much fun. Nobody was saying they can't consent. I don't know. It's just kind of a funny... I mean,
obviously they weren't... they were non-consensual to date, or they were consenting to dating each other.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of YouTube and vlogging, I don't think she's watched Ninja Kids in a while, but have you ever heard Avery try to convince me that we should be vloggers? I have no interest in being like a full-blown family vlogger on YouTube. I just don't. But have you ever heard her like pitch to me her ideas? Somehow she found the LeBron family and they're family vloggers, and she thinks it looks like so much fun, so much more fun than what I do. And she has tried to pitch me like all these different ideas. We could make this video. We could make that video. I don't know if you remember, but maybe when she was 7, so like a couple Christmases ago, for the last few years, we've had everybody under our roof on Christmas Eve, like sleeping together under the roof. And like 2 years ago, she campaigned hard for this. She wanted me to make a Christmas Day vlog, and she wanted me to wake everybody up one by one, like with the phone and the flashlight. Like, I guess she saw something like that, and she thought this would be amazing, and was so disappointed in me that I just keep shooting down her ideas. The poor thing.
Her brothers would love that. Like,
oh my God, no! That would not have gone very well.
A video camera and a Loom Cube.
I do sometimes, now and then, she has so much fun with it, include her in, I mean, she's a dancer and she loves acting. So like doing a dance trend or delivering a line or lip syncing, it's like right up her alley. Yeah. So once in a while, if there's something that I think is like cute or fun, I will do that with her. But if she had her way, it would be more. And tell me if you remember this comment. It was like a year ago or 2 at this point, but I did a dance with her, like a trending dance, and I posted it to both platforms, and some asshole was like, stop making your daughter dance like a trained monkey.
And the sad thing is, I remember that piece of content, and it was amazing.
It was fun. It was just silly and fun.
But she had fun with it, and it was funny, and it hit well. It was a good video.
I just think it's like the stories that people come up in their heads, like, I'm making her. It was probably like when the Ruby Frankie stuff was hitting the news. It's like, oh, I'm making my daughter dance. Like, the word trained monkey was so funny to me. And I'm like, maybe flip it. Like, she would like me to dance like a trained monkey. She thinks we need more dancing.
There's only one trained monkey in this family, and it's me.
Oh my God. Well, that's kind of true. But so I do have fun with her a little bit here and there. She's not the focus of my account, and she never will be, even though she would probably really enjoy it. She could be the star of her own social media someday when she's old enough to really do that, if she still even wants to. But like, I don't need her to be the star of mine. I wouldn't want that. Do you remember too, like, I don't even really like to post her by herself very much. Like if she is, like, what % would you say she's in my stuff? Like maybe 10%?
At tops 10.
Tops.
I mean, some like stories. I think stories, but those are
Don't
like.
they ever post stories anymore?
But they're like photo. Like if we're somewhere, like the other night when we were on the boat, a picture
like
of her.
something brief, and it's in the context of family.
Yeah, it's usually a photo. It's not like trained monkey dancing.
Yeah. But it's just also evolved. Like it was different posting her, like she was on my Instagram a lot more before this mass media thing started. When it was just your followers and it was mostly photography, it didn't even occur to me that it was an issue. But then
that's when it was like staged photos and it was fun. It was.
I mean, it's still pretty staged even with video, but it's just like it's the mass audience thing that's hard.
Yeah.
But that's also largely why I really pulled back on posting her and even Lilu. Like I got the cutest video of the boys all with Lilu. They were like taking a splinter out of her foot or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was so cute, and I thought about posting it to Reels, and then I was like, this seems like the kind of thing that could just weirdly, randomly go viral, and that would feel weird, like it's my granddaughter. So I like buried it into like a carousel, this cute little video. But I'm like pretty aware. And then not too long ago, I posted something. Not too long ago, I mean like maybe a year ago. Usually if we include Avery, it's in the context of all of us, like a family vlog or something. But I posted something that was focusing more on her by herself. And as soon as it started to get traction and get more views, I just made it private. And I did this also. Do you remember when she was 4? And the family stuff first on TikTok started going, like we got like some major virals. And one of the common questions was, does she have a favorite brother? And I thought it was such a silly question that I was like, I said to her, who's your favorite brother? Like with recording her answer.
This, yeah.
She gave the cutest answer. And without really giving it a whole lot of thought, I posted it to TikTok. And that was still when I was like, oh, nothing else is ever going to go viral. That was a fluke.
Yeah.
And it went like wildfire. Like it was, I guess, because it was like really cute. And she said the cutest little thing. And so it started to go viral. And while it was like popping off, I made it private because I was like, it just was like out of my comfort zone. I was like, I'm not ready to have what happens with a viral video happen to something of just our daughter.
Yeah.
So you can't find it anymore. I took it down. But that's kind of how I feel about that. I just kind of like, and I'm open to like evolving my opinion about it and changing my mind. But with like the more followers that we've gotten, like we talked on the last episode, the more like scrutiny and the more like weird like hostility. Like I don't want that directed at like my kids. So anything that's like that, I don't know. I just kind of
she's like, hurry up and let me have it.
I know she really does enjoy it. But let's just talk about consent for a second, because this concept that comes up again and again about kids and social media, they can't consent. Kids can't consent to anything. Like that's why they have parents like making decisions for them, right?
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about consent.
Oh no, why are you afraid you're going to get us in trouble?
Yeah. No, I will get us in trouble. Because the things that they're letting kids consent to are way worse than social media.
Okay, pump the brakes. Let's save that for another one. But I know where you're going. Like there is quite a bit that parents are like parents decide everything for their kids, from what goes into their bodies or doesn't. That's another hot topic. If you get my drift.
Yeah.
What you feed them. Like, what if you feed your child like beef every night and they grow up to be a vegan? Are they going to sue you because they didn't consent? Or like indoctrinating them into whatever religion you are a part? Like they can't consent. We make decisions for them. And I think when it comes to social media, most of the parents that I know make good decisions. No one's like doing anything terrible on there. And I don't know.
No, and I just based on what you just discussed and how you discussed it, everything that she's in as far as your social media is well thought out. And if there's an issue, it's gone. Like if the second it becomes
even a hint of a potential possibility of an issue, I make it private. I just take it down. I'm like, this is not even worth it. But we keep it minimal and we're very mindful of it. And we also have this with having grown kids, I have often talked to them about like, how would you feel about this, that, or the other thing? And like, we kind of have a little bit of insight into like, they came of age at the time when social media was just taking off, but they've seen like they were here before it and during it and after it. And I don't know, it's very interesting. Like I always check in with them because when we post stuff with the boys in it, like every once in a while I'll check in with them all. Like, are you okay with this? Is there anything you want me to remove? And what do you think about, like, it's just, and with Avery, like Avery is like super reasonable and smart about things. Like I can already have really interesting conversations with her about this stuff.
Yeah. And if she was not okay with something, she'd be like, no, that's not okay.
If she was not okay with it, you probably wouldn't even be able to find her anywhere on my account. I have no problem with that. So, yeah, it's just like, it's a continuing, everybody's new to social media to some degree. This is like a brand new thing. This like ability to be seen by a lot of people in a short time is new to all of us.
We're all only humans for the first time.
We're all humans for the first time here. So I'm not saying that we have all the answers or that our position is 100% correct, but we make decisions that make the most sense of us with whatever new information that we get or we discuss or any new things that happen or that come up. And I think we're navigating it pretty well. I think we have a pretty good balance with it.
And it's always been a discussion. It's not like we just do things to do things without, if there seems like there might be some kind of ramifications with it, it gets scratched. I mean, there's definitely been things that we've talked about posting and then it's like, nah, that's just, it's not worth it. It's not worth the headache.
And there's things that I posted and then taken down on, like the Hawaii story, and that was even before mass media.
Yeah.
Just if something doesn't, I go with my gut. I trust my gut a lot. But the consent thing is so interesting because, like, where do kids get consent in any area?
They don't. Do they consent? Do you say, hey, do you want to go to school today? No. It's get on the bus and go to school. You're going to school.
If that's what you've decided they're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But that starts when they're preschool. Yeah. And then it goes right through. There's no consent. There's no question. It is what it is for most families.
Yeah. I've also yet to see an explanation of what moral, legal, ethical difference there is between having your child in a crowded public place like Disney World or the beach in a swim, like anywhere where there's like anywhere where you might take a family photo. What is the difference between that morally, ethically, legally, and posting a picture from that spot on your public Instagram? Can you think of one? I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe I'll hear from somebody who gives me an explanation that actually makes sense to me. But so far I haven't seen one. Most of the time I just see people just really enjoying hating on influencers. And that's just something that's low hanging fruit to hate on. Yeah. You know, it seems to me.
Like culturally, remember when we were in Ireland, you couldn't even bring a camera into the indoor pool. Like,
that's like a cultural thing.
Like there was
they don't want any cameras
near the pool.
Yeah, and that wasn't for social media. That was Avery and her cousins. So this hotel that we stayed at, everybody had to wear a bathing cap on their over their hair, and they handed them out if you didn't already have one. And the three girls looked so cute in their swim caps. I was like, oh my gosh! And I grabbed my phone just to take a picture for myself, not to do anything. I did. This is so cute, and I got the picture. Oh my god! I probably shouldn't post it on here, but yeah, the guy freaked out on me.
I think you have to post it on here.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want all of my.
I remember the name of the hotel too.
I'm already in trouble. I'm already in trouble with people from Ireland because of saying that I was Irish, daring to say that I was part Irish. Okay, so I don't know if I want to poke the Ireland Hornets right now. Do you remember that?
I do.
You do?
I remember.
When I made a joke about this, I don't know, I probably shouldn't go off on this
American,
tangent.
You're not Irish, honey.
Yeah. Yeah, I made a joke about having hair that's straighter on the top and curlier underneath has been coined Irish hair. Yeah. And I was like, and the fun, and I have that. I've had that since puberty, since I was very young. And I made a joke, and the funny thing is I'm actually part Irish because I have Irish ancestry.
What?
We both do. People lost, not everybody, but a few people really lost their minds. Oh, you Americans, you don't have your own culture, so you have to try to be cool by saying you're Irish and you're probably 0.01. People lost their minds. Okay, all right. Well,
I guess they're not doing 23andMe over in Ireland. They're just 100% Irish.
I have no idea, but I didn't get the best impression of those women. Thank God, when we were in Ireland, the people were so nice.
Yeah, they were.
And I remember meeting so many people when we were there, and your mom saying why we visited and how we have so many Irish.
Back to the homeland.
Yes, she would say she's home. She felt like she was home, and everybody was so nice about it. I don't remember anybody we met in Ireland giving us a hard time for saying that we had Irish family or whatever. It was
because
weird.
Apparently Ireland has trolls sitting in a basement somewhere too, making fun of Americans.
But one more thing I want to say about consent. I'm going to try to keep this from going like 2 hours long like last time. I do wish that I wish there were more laws about like, wouldn't this be nice if children ever appeared in like an ad? And it's not just young children. Like we've had Gavin in some of our ads, and I pay him from what I'm paid. But wouldn't it be nice if for a brand to like if it's a family oriented product and your kids are going to be in it, wouldn't it be nice if they legally had to have like contracts and direct payments for each person, even if it's someone underage, because it would make bookkeeping so easy and it would be like respectful. Like maybe not everybody's paying their kids for being in something,
and that's probably where social media hasn't caught up to mass media, because when Avery was doing that thing for for an extra, like she had to be paid a certain day rate. Yep. It had to be like
it was all legal and all the paperwork was done. Yeah,
everything had to be done.
I would love that. Like she recently asked me when she can be in another ad. She enjoys doing anything like that with me or otherwise, and I just think that would be I would like to see that happen.
She so badly wants to be an extra on things.
Oh my God.
I hope they use her, because she's going to be devastated if she
I know,
doesn't
she's
get
waiting with
clips.
bated breath to see if she's going to be in this show, like her one little extra day. But she loved that.
Oh my God, she thought she was a movie star.
Yeah. Okay, so the other side of and I'm gonna tie this to something that happened this summer that you're gonna remember. So there's the consent thing when it comes to kids on social media, and there's also this idea. This comes up a lot, and I've had some comments on some of my family stuff where somebody said recently that I was like handing her to pedos. And then, do you remember this summer we were on the beach? The boys were there with us, and Avery and Lilu had swimsuits on, and we're like playing in the sand and in and out of the water, and playing on like jumping around on a surfboard. And I took a cute photo and I posted it to my stories. And a longtime follower, I mean, I don't know, I might be confusing her with something. I don't know how long she followed me. It was a follower, a mom, sent me a message, and it was so rude. It was, this is so inappropriate. And would you walk up to a stranger and show her a photo of your daughter in a swimsuit? Then you shouldn't put it on there. There are sick people in the world. She just like went off on me in my stories. And I was like, there were so many things wrong with them. Walk up to a stranger. You mean like the thousands of strangers that are surrounding us, like watching our daughter playing in real time, and they have their own phones? If they really wanted a picture of her, like.
It's crazy. It's plain old crazy. Like, so it's the same thing as those people who should be living in a log cabin somewhere. Like, you're not going to take your kid to the beach and let them play in a bathing suit, because you're not going to find a private beach anywhere. So you never take your kid to a public pool or a water slide or a water park or a beach and let them walk around in a bathing suit.
It just goes back to me I have yet to have anyone explain to me in a way that makes sense. If they can do it in public, they can do it in a public photo. Like, why is that such a huge disconnect to me? Like, I just don't get it. But also, like I said, like my feed doesn't focus on our daughter or anyone else, like our granddaughter or anything. It's not like it's the focus, but if there's something incidental, I just don't see what the problem is. Because, first of all, pedophiles don't just lurk in the corners of social media hoping someone posts like a picture of their fully clothed child. They can go to any restaurant, any beach, any playground. They can go sit at the playground with their freaking phone. Like what, I
remember when we were growing up, there was a guy who was at the beach all the time with a camera with a long lens, and everybody was convinced that he didn't have film. He just like acted like he was taking pictures to look at people. So what are you going to do? Not go to the beach because there might be somebody there looking through binoculars or looking through a telephoto lens. Right. And that's the thing. Like, there's homes at the beach. There's so many places at the beach where someone could sit and, for lack of a better word, spy on you. Right. So they don't need to be on social media to see that.
Yeah.
If you want children to be protected to that degree, you're just never going to let them do anything.
Right. And trust me, sometimes I have a little fantasy about locking her up, never letting her leave and go do anything. But I again, that's just like an irrational fear. And I don't like, my understanding of child grooming and abuse is that it's almost always somebody they know.
Yeah.
Any story that I've ever heard, it's like a teacher, a neighbor, a family member that you wouldn't expect, or things like that. And these are people that have access to your children. They're probably all over their phone.
And because the children are comfortable with them, so it makes it almost like easier for them to be predators.
Right. So this idea that a mom with a public Instagram posting like a family photo where you can see the child's face is like throwing her child to the wolves it just feels like a reach. I don't know.
It's a total reach. And the other thing is, whenever you post something of us or her, you specifically don't post where it is. I mean, anybody who knows, you can decipher where it is if you know the location by looking around, but you're conscious about not tagging where it is
until after the fact.
After the fact, yeah. So
if we're on vacation, I'll post, if I post and tag the resort, like wherever, it's usually after the fact.
Yeah, you're not drawing attention to where you are at the given moment. So
she's also never out of our sight. To me, when you have a child who's like 12 or 13 or 14, like that's still really young. And to me, the biggest dangers of social media are when they are that age and spending more time away from you with, friends and on their own. I feel like that is a child who is ripe for like catfishing or grooming or something like that. Not like a toddler in a family photo. Like I'm way more worried about navigating when she is old enough for social media. I'm way more worried about that than I am of her being in something like a family vlog now.
Social media, yeah.
But that's just my comfort zone. What do you think?
I feel the same way. I have no problem with it. I think that these people that get all up in arms about it need to maybe rethink their position, or maybe they have maybe somebody's going to reach out and say you're way off base. But if you're going to reach out and say and
everybody's welcome to give me like their position on it. I just be respectful about it. It's like if anyone who starts getting nasty, I just like that's someone who has other issues besides just having an opinion on. But like if there is something that we haven't considered, or that parents who do what we do haven't considered, let me know, like a genuine opinion about it. But like the witch hunt stuff that I see like happening to some of the people online is it's just pretty wild. Oh, and I hear this about digital footprints. Like it's not fair to give your child a digital footprint. Do you know what a digital footprint is? I don't think it's like a family photo. My understanding of digital footprint is like your online behavior, your search history, what you've shopped for, books you've read. That's how I see a digital footprint.
Yeah, that's hard to do with a child. I feel like you're creating a digital footprint when you go to the grocery store and put in your phone number for your discount card. That's creating a digital footprint. That's giving you, that's like habits. They're tracking your habits so that they know where you're at.
Yeah. And that's not something that she'll have until she's old enough to do her own, right? Like her own.
That's nothing.
And I also don't have a problem with like, if she's taking a class or like doing a little camp in the summer or something, and you're asked if it's okay if they put your child's image on their social media or their website, I always say yes. Like this is how businesses grow, and I just don't see how it's going to hurt her.
Yeah, and I remember when you had your portrait business, there was clients who didn't want their children on.
I had it both ways. I had clients who were adamant that they did not want their child on my website, and there were others who got offended if their child wasn't. Like I photographed hundreds of families, and I only had like a small number on my website. And I remember it was like, oh gosh, I can't really please everybody here.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And then there are things that can be done with AI. But again, that's something that that's like if somebody who knows your child, and we know a lot of people. So if somebody who has like a gross interest in children had a hankering for our child, we probably wouldn't know. I mean, it's not like these people are announcing themselves. It's just such a gross thing to think about. The one thing that I do think is a good point is, I I don't know. Maybe you'll have a different perspective on this, but posting things that could potentially, like personal things about your child that could one day be embarrassing now or later.
Yeah.
But again, we have grown kids who we didn't have social media when they were little, but we did have some, like, do you remember the video you have of Larry, like, he pooped on camera. He like took his diaper off, and it was very graphic, very funny.
I wish I still had it.
But when he was, I'm sure we have it somewhere. But when he was like a preteen and they were getting into YouTube stuff, like there was no like social media apps yet, but there was YouTube. He wanted to post it on YouTube. So there wasn't like, I don't know, maybe he's like lacking the embarrassment gene or something. But I feel like the crazier something was, the more they thought it was like great and wanted to post it. I don't know. But I think it's better to err on the side of not posting anything that, like, I never posted like potty training, or I never did anything really personal like that. Like my stuff has always been pretty consistently created for social media in a staged sort of way. I just feel like we have pretty open minds to being wrong. Like if there was like some kind of new information or like something changed with social media, I don't know. I feel like we evolve. I think we're handling it pretty well. Just, it's sort of like an ongoing conversation.
Yeah, we're growing.
Have we covered that?
I think we've covered that.
The other thing that I get a lot of questions about is sponsored posts. It's probably a good time to talk about it because I've done more than usual the last summer. Something that comes up fairly often, well, I think there's a few different things that we can talk about. So one of the first skincare brands that I worked with was Drunk Elephant. And somebody recently asked me, this was like face-to-face, like at a party or something. I want to try some new skincare. And how do you really feel about Drunk Elephant? Like, do you recommend that because you've worked for them, or do you? And it was just such an interesting question. To be reminded that that's how we all think. Like, is this true? Or, but just to give like a quick recap of Drunk Elephant, because that's probably the brand that I've worked with the most, not this past year, but like last year and the year before. I was a customer of Drunk Elephant products before I worked with them, and I reached out to them, and it was probably 2021, like right before we moved out of the beach. Was that 2021?
Yeah.
So I had bought some Drunk Elephant products at Sephora, and I really liked them. I remember particularly really like baby facial. It was like, and at the time, that was when I was first starting to work a little bit with sponsored stuff. And I kept getting offers. And at the time I was declining almost everything. And I was like, I don't use that. And then it occurred to me like, well, why can't I just reach out to the ones that I do use and see if they want to work with me? So I remember writing an email, finding like the PR contact or whatever for Drunk Elephant and sending an email introducing myself, like, here's my account. I'm a fan of your product, and let me know if I'd ever be a good fit to work on something with you. And I did not get a campaign from that email, but I got on their PR list, and they were so generous. I just started getting so much Drunk Elephant product and probably posted about it a few more times organically. And then I think it was late 2023, I did my first campaign with them and then went on to do like a handful more. And we went on a brand trip with them, which was a lot of fun. But that's like a good example of like most of the stuff that I've worked with is they're products that I'm a fan of, genuinely.
Yeah, and I remember when people started reaching out more and more, there was a lot of things. I think more often than not, you said, I don't want to do that because it was just, it didn't align with what you did or how you lived or what you used. And and I think at that point, the agency that you were working with sort of got frustrated with you for not just jumping on everything that they sent your way.
Because I think a lot of people do. I mean, having a social media presence where people even care what you have to say can be like very short-lived. So you can't really blame people for, I'm going to cash in on this while I can. But I don't know, like I have like an almost pathological level of like integrity, and I turned down some big offers over the years. I was like,
I remember.
But so the way that it works for me is so now I'm with an agency who I don't really get that many offers to turn down anymore, because they were so thorough when like with my onboarding, with like they already know the kind of things I don't want to do, the kind of things I do want to do, like what I care about in a product, like my values. They've got a good handle on that. So because they are in charge of my email and all of my inquiries, I don't even see the ones that aren't like a good fit anymore. But if I do get an offer to work with a brand that, if it's something that I'm not familiar with, like something I've never heard of, I will first like look it up. I'll do like a little bit of research. I will look at reviews online. I will look at like, if it's skincare, like the ingredients, like I'll give it a lot of thought. And if I feel like I'm open to this, then I will have them send it to me to try. I don't fully commit until I've tested something, because I have here and there tested products that, like, I have sensitive skin, and if something doesn't work, I'm gonna
specific ones that you've had issues with,
and sent back, and they say no, just give it. Yeah, like I've declined things that don't work. But if I like it, then sure, I'll say yes. One of the reasons that I used to say no to so much and wasn't like, I just was more likely to have a knee-jerk no if it was something that I didn't use or didn't think I don't know. But it was because at the time, the mass media thing hadn't really taken over, and like when you posted something, even an ad, people that follow you would see it. So it would be really hard for me at the time to post like a bunch of ads at the same time or in the same week, because now I'm like spamming the people who follow me. It was like, it was when everyone saw everything you posted. So I was like less comfortable with it. And then recently, like in the last year, when I decided to say yes to this agency, we're at a time where when you see something in your feed, it's probably not because you follow that person. You might follow them, but it's more now focused on what your digital footprint, like what you've shown interest in, what your demographic is. Are you like a woman in this age bracket or whatever? So it occurred to me that if I say no to this ad, the person who I'm trying not to offend is probably going to see it anyway. It's just going to be somebody else. Like I may as well say yes and get the bag or whatever you want to, whatever the Gen Z says. Like, I don't know. But
the other part of that is all those ads are just getting so squashed by social media. Like, now like that's the reach on ads is just not.
It's
there,
low now,
like,
but that's because they want the brands
and they want
to
the
pay,
brands to
and
pay.
the brand is going to pay for the demographic they want it to see. So if you see an ad of mine, it's not just because you follow me. It might have nothing to do with following me. It's because that this brand decided that you are the audience that they want. It has nothing to do with me. I just made it, you know?
Yeah, and they're promoting it to usually the correct demographic. I mean, we've seen that go south before.
Yeah. The brand will approve it or not. Like if they give feedback and you have to change something, it's usually still in your own words, and it's usually whatever is true for you. Like most of these brands want you to be authentic. But I did a particular ad campaign where the brand wrote the caption for me and just told me what to say, and it didn't sit right with me. And I remember saying to the girl who like was my manager at the time with my first agency, I remember having all I wanted was to put it in my own words. I was like, it's not the sentiment, but this isn't the way that I talk. Like, it's not me. It's not my voice. And this is how I would say it. And she just refused. She was just tired of me and would not run it by the brand.
No, they didn't
she refused.
She didn't want to put it
so
in
it became like a standoff because, and I remember her, I'm pretty sure that the exact words were, nobody follows you for your captions anyway. Just say what the brand wants. And yeah, so I like held my ground and I got fired. So, but I feel like that is to a degree what gives influencers a bad name, because I try to have consistency between what I post organically and what I post that's sponsored. Like I try not to have too much disconnect there and keep the same values.
But that's what gives it authenticity. And that's what's going to break through the clutter anymore.
Right. Somebody said to me, because like I said, I posted a lot of ads this summer, and several of them were different skincare brands. And something I think a lot of people don't realize too is when I post an ad, it might already have been shot like 2 months prior. Like sometimes I'll shoot an ad and it'll be like a whole month goes by while the brand looks at it or wants me to make changes. There's a lot of back and forth. So in August, I posted a lot of ads kind of at the same time, but some of them were like I had shot almost like 2 months before. Like it was kind of crazy. But there was multiple skincare ads going live the same week. And somebody, I can't remember if it was a comment or a message, but, oh, I see you're posting a different skincare brand this week. You must be lying about both of them. which
you liar, liar,
so,
pants on
but what's
fire.
funny is like the skincare is like super saturated, and there's more than one good brand. And like before I did this, I always had multiple brands in my cabinet, and I still will, even when I retire from what I'm doing now. Like
I can attest to that because
promoting two different brands does not mean you're lying about either one of them.
No, and there's always been a shelf in the closet in the bathroom with multiple brands on it. It's multiple shelves with multiple brands on it. So
if you see an ad for me for a skincare product or any product really, you can be assured that I recommend it. Or if I don't like it, I'm not going to recommend it. Is it the only thing I use? I will never say that. You won't hear me say this is my holy grail. I never need any other product ever again. Like it's just not going to happen. I am in a situation where I get to, I get a lot of boxes. Like I get to try things, and I can either incorporate them into my routine, or I can say yes to a campaign, or if they're not for me, I can let the brand know, or I can give it away to somebody who likes this particular product. Or like, again, I have sensitive skin, so I'm like probably pickier than most, but I guess I just feel like it's a menu. Like different things are going to work for different people. So,
and different things have different benefits. Different things you use in different ways.
Yeah.
And you can use one brand in conjunction with another brand. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. You can cross brand with different products.
This is not like I don't want to go on a tangent about skincare, because that's like a whole I can go on and on about that. But I don't actually use a lot. I rotate. I have favorite brands that I rotate the products, but I don't use like a lot in one day. But again, it's like if you learned about something from me sharing about it, either in an ad or organically, and you like it, that's great. Not everybody's going to like the same things. And it's not just skincare. Like I did, I've done a couple of supplement ads in the last year, and a couple of them I'm still taking. But again, I kind of rotate and try different things with that as well. But I posted a supplement in the summer, and it's a really good one. But I got messages from people who either loved it. Most people loved it. I did get a couple of messages from people like saying that it gave them a stomach ache, and seemed to think that like, well, that then I shouldn't be sharing about it because someone got like, it's different. Everybody is going to react to things differently, and it's kind of up to you to consider like everything out there. It's just like there's a lot of options, and only you can know if it's going to work for you or not. But there's no like, I'm not lying in my ads because
your skin sensitivity. Everybody's got different sensitivities, be it their skin, be it their stomach, be it whatever it is. I'm probably
turning red right now because whenever my blood pressure goes up, like I get a little nervous when I'm shooting anything or talking to any camera. So I start getting like red welts. But when I shoot a skincare ad, it has to be like something that's good for sensitive skin. If it's not, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything else about me doing ads or you being a part of my ads? Because sometimes you're in them.
I have fun with it. I like it.
Yeah, you don't mind them.
I don't mind them. I don't know how much I should say about ads because I have opinions that people might not want to hear. But I feel like having come from a media background, I think that a lot of the agencies working in these social media I don't get there's sort of a disconnect in some of the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for this question. I wish I knew that you were going to ask me this because I have some thoughts.
But you like to wing it. You like me to be prepared and you to be the yin to my yang.
I am the yin to your yang, but I don't want to say something that's going to make me look foolish because I've thought about this before.
I'm sure we'll revisit this topic.
I think that it's almost like the chain of command, actually. This is sort of where I get frustrated because I remember when I was in media, the creative agencies sometimes were difficult to work with because they were set in their ways and they didn't want to hear, like they'd have this big idea for a commercial that they were going to air. We're going to do this great big commercial and we're going to air it on Seinfeld. And it's like, great, Seinfeld's great, but that commercial is not going to hit with that audience. Like you're way off base, but they were adamant that they had to spend this money and it had to be spent on Seinfeld, and they fought the media agency tooth and nail, and they told the client why they had to do it. And I think a lot of times, like the creatives have an idea, and they don't listen to, like, now I'm seeing it from your perspective. They don't listen to the creator. Like, they have this, they're almost trying to shove a round peg in a square hole.
Yeah.
And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is our idea. This is what you're going to do. And it doesn't make sense. And I feel like if they gave a little bit of leeway to you with
and
how
a lot of them do.
A lot of them do. But, and I think more now than previously.
Yeah.
But if the creator has more leeway, it's going to hit better with their audience. They know their audience way better than a creative agency knows their audience. Yeah. So it's when you're reaching out to someone to promote a product or do an advertisement for a product, it's way better to have it in the voice of the creator who knows their audience.
Yeah, well, I'm also there. I'm not only like creating for these skincare brands, I am their target audience too.
Yeah.
So like, I know, like, I would say 90% of what I buy, because I don't get everything for free. I buy a good amount of things. And usually it's because I saw it somewhere, especially with like clothing. Like I'll see something and I have actually said to that, like I've said this on creative calls, like as a consumer, this is not what would make me want to buy a product. Like, but I'm not always like, they don't always care. Like they just kind of have the creative brief, some of the brands, and it is what it is. They want to like cover what they want to be covered, you know?
Yeah, without a thought to how it's going to hit.
My favorite is, here are all the messaging points. Here's the required messaging. Say this, say this, say this, have this here, and all these bells and whistles. But most importantly, we want you to be really authentic and go viral. And I'm like, okay. Well,
there's your round peg in a square hole.
Yeah, it's gonna take some ad dollars for this to have viral level eyeballs. So, but anyway, so back to lying about things that like you must be lying about that because you already posted about another thing. Like two things can't be true at the same time. But I do think it's important to me. I don't know if it's important to everybody, but it's important to me to have like a consistent message between what I share about organically with regard to skincare or anything else related, wellness, anything related to those topics, and what I do with an ad. I used to follow a woman who, she was very, very against what she saw as ageist messaging in skincare, in the skincare industry, like anti-aging and anything that implied that it wasn't okay to look older. She was very against it and very like we shouldn't be using these products and giving them our business and all that sort of thing. But then there was a few like sponsored posts that she did for products that the brand had that messaging all over their website. And like, I get we can like change our minds, and sometimes a big paycheck might make you like, okay, I'll let that slide or whatever. But I really try. And I've joked about this before, like my integrity gets in the way of our being like super rich. But like that stayed with me. And like, I don't want to give anybody a disconnect between, well, why are you selling this if you said this last week in your stories? Or like, I really try to stay consistent.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy.
It's definitely not easy for you.
It's not always easy, but I do my best. And somebody asked about commissionable links. The thing about commissionable links is I don't really do, I have them and I do them sometimes. To make a lot of money with commissionable links, you really have to be like doing that a lot because the commission is typically very small. So it takes like consistency and like a lot of volume to make it worth your while. So if enough people ask, I'll feel like, okay. And I do have an LTK where I have like where you can go and see, like I'll link whatever, if I wore something that people ask about or whatever. But I feel too, like sometimes people get annoyed when you're posting commissionable links or like link that, like I think people are just a little bit, like the sales and selling and ads, it's all like so saturated, but by the same token, a lot of people appreciate them. A lot of people like to shop and they like to know where you got. It's like I've gotten annoyed where I see somebody where I ask, "Where's that from? I love that top or whatever," and then they just like they gatekeep it or whatever. They don't answer their comments or whatever. Like some people like to see a link, like so that they can use it if they want it or not. But I saw a conversation. There's like a lot of like influencer hate, and I saw this conversation that I thought was so unhinged. It was a conversation about how if somebody you follow posts a link and you want to buy the thing, but you don't want them to get commission because you don't think it's fair that influencers are getting paid for these things. It's just not fair, and you don't want to support it or whatever. So they were sharing ideas for how to use content creators' links to find the item, but then extra steps to take to make sure that you disconnect the commission from it. Just think about that for a second.
Just Google it.
That's not even where I'm going with this. I think it's so funny. So usually when a commissionable link is available, it's like a big brand. It's like Amazon or Revolve or Sephora, or it's usually like the commission that's worthwhile usually comes from a big brand. So these women were discussing how to take extra steps to make sure that someone they follow, or even if they don't follow, they might just follow them or stalk them or something. But you're gonna take extra time to make sure that Jeff Bezos gets all the money, and not like an average Joe. Like why not support each other? I love using links. Like there's been times that I will remember somebody has a link and I'll just go use it. I'll take an extra step to support that person.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's just some weirdness out there.
There's a lot of weirdness out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to my comments on social media, because we talk about how the reach isn't there. And this ties back to your authenticity. So the reach isn't there necessarily on ads. Once these media see that it's a sponsored ad or a partnership or something, the reach just isn't there. And I think what we're seeing is a move from brands paying creators because they like what the creators do. So they'll pay the creator with the knowledge that the ad's probably not going to get a whole lot of organic reach on their site, but they like the creator, and it's more efficient for them to pay a creator who's authentic, who's got a relationship with an audience, and then promote that ad instead of hiring a director and paying for studio time and creating an ad that they're going to have to pay top dollar for and then promote that. So I think brands are starting to rely on creators who are authentic or who have a following just for the content, so that they have legit content that they can promote behind the brands.
I feel like everything's so saturated right now. It might be a little bit harder to get a foothold to get a following, but you don't actually have to have a lot of followers anymore to make money in content creation, because for example, TikTok Shop, it's not my favorite thing to do, but there are a lot of people making a lot of money without a lot of followers, because what happens with TikTok Shop is if you create something and you tag the product in TikTok Shop, the brands, and there are some really big brands on there, if they see it, they can see who's using their shop links, and then they can put ad dollars behind it. So if a brand decides to blast it out because they love that content, you're going to get that commission, and it's going to be a lot of commission. I've seen people post 6 figures from 1 month, and they don't really have that many followers at all. So, and I think that's true even if it's not commission. If you are somebody, it's called user-generated content, UGC creators. You can, if you're good at creating the kind of content that brands want, you can be hired to create content for that brand for their own feed and for their own ads that they put ad dollars behind. You don't necessarily have to post it to your feed. You don't even need a big following. So there's different ways to do content creation as a career.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of ways to learn more about how to do that, because like you were saying, even with somebody like me who does have a following, those ads are going to just get buried until someone pays for the eyeballs, because there's so much posted right now with entertainment value that ads, unless they are super high entertainment value, which when you're working with a strict creative brief, it's really difficult to do that. They're going to have paid for views, and paid for by the brand.
Complicating that is that when you put partnership or paid promotion,
people will see that and be like, swipe.
And the brand, the media will see that and squash it. So with that, because they want somebody to pay for it. They want ad dollars behind it.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say, somebody asked this, do you set limits for how much you focus on social media? It can be all consuming. It sure can.
Yeah, it can.
So this has been a struggle. It can be extra tricky. Like, I'm not a big doom scroller. If I'm going to scroll, like, as a pure consumer, it's usually like late at night when I'm tired.
Yeah.
If I can't fall asleep, like, I don't know. But I have recently, when your social media becomes your income and your career, it becomes harder to limit it because the edges are so blurred between where's the line between me consuming social media and me
researching
or answering messages. So one thing that I have done, and I haven't changed my routine yet, but this was kind of big for me. I remember, like, not too long ago, I was saying to you, I think, like, well, I need another phone. And I said it almost like kiddingly, like, I'm not a celebrity. Like, why would I need two phones, you know? But then you encouraged me to do it. You were like, that might be like the perfect solution for you.
Patty's bat phone.
Yeah. So I have a second phone now, and I haven't implemented this yet, but my plan is for only, like, our immediate family to know my phone number and to not have any social media apps on it at all, except for my Kindle, because that's the phone that I'm going to take. I know people talk about putting it in its place by putting it in another room to go to bed.
Yeah.
The problem is, you know, we've got, like, older parents. We've got a daughter-in-law about to go into labor. We've got kids who go out at night. We've got Avery sometimes, like, not home at night if she's doing something with her stuff. I like to be reachable. So now I have this new phone with a phone number. It's going to have no social media apps, and I haven't done this yet, but my plan is to put that phone away after business hours.
Yeah.
And then I will be reachable.
The new phone is not a flip phone.
It's not a flip phone. It's an iPhone, but it's going to be bare bones. I'm going to have my Kindle app on it only so that I can read in bed, but I'm not going to be doing any doom scrolling like that. I'm going to try to put that in its place. And I know that's not doable for everybody, but I think it's what's going to work for me.
Starting on Monday.
But I don't know. I think, like, if I wasn't doing this as a career and I had to really work on limiting my consumption, I think I probably would do something like delete the apps on the weekend. I would think of, like, little ways you can keep track of it, but I don't know. I have this book. One of the books I have in my Kindle is called Dopamine Detox. And I used to think that dopamine had to do with, like, refreshing, like when you refresh your feed and you see, like, you're constantly seeing new stuff. But now that I'm starting to read this book, I'm realizing that it is a task completion thing. It's not just getting positive things on social media or refreshing your feed. It can be, like, notifications, texts. It can be, like, replying to emails. And I have noticed about myself, my attention span has been getting more broken. Like, I've said this to you so many times, I can only sit through an entire movie if we're in the movie theater.
Yeah.
If we're trying to watch a movie on our TV, I will pull out my phone and I'll tell myself, well, I need to catch up on these messages. I need to do this. I need to do that. But, like, we're all paying a price for this era with our attention spans. So I feel like not just putting work in its place, but having a phone for at least half of the 24-hour period that only has my Kindle on it, I'll be forced to, like, read a book without interrupting myself. I mean, I might get a text from a family member, but it's not going to be the same.
We're going to 12 hours is the goal.
That's my goal. Like once dinner time rolls around, that's my goal, to get that phone in another room, because I'll still be reachable now that I have my other phone number. And then when I get in bed, read either a physical book or read my Kindle, and not. I mean, I don't need social media outside of certain hours. I know that. It's easier said than done.
The challenge is on.
But that is my plan. What do you think about that?
I think it's a great plan. I think you've had that phone for 4 months now.
I have, but then I had, like, the busiest summer of my life, and it wasn't like I was, like, doom scrolling at 9:00 at night. I was still editing ads that had deadlines. Like, it's really hard. Like, that's the other. I just have to get, like, a better balance, all around, which is, like, it's like one of our issues right now. Like, I don't have a whole lot of balance right now.
Well, that's what we talked about. The summer of 25 was the summer that wasn't.
Yeah.
Because we had zero balance.
Definitely. But I do think, especially now that we're doing this, like, I'm really enjoying this podcast. I love having, like, a longer time to dive into a topic and not just doing, like, 15-second, like,
blurbs,
attention span damaging stuff. Like that's all fun and good, but it has to be kept in its place. But I can see myself like, and I haven't published my Substack yet, but I've been writing for it, and I'm going to just like unleash that probably all at once. Just like upload a bunch of my writing and put that out there. I do see an end at some point. It's not going to be anytime too soon, but eventually I'm going to go back to like having a private account. And I think at that point, like it's going to be like, how do you transition, right? Like from having, you know, what we're doing now to that, I don't really know. But maybe by the time I do that, Avery will be old enough to take it over because she's ready. She is ready.
Just change the name on the account.
But I think like what I'll probably do at some point in the future, not too soon, but at some point, I'm probably going to start a new account, and it'll be for family and friends. And then at that point, I will probably also invite like longtime followers who have been with me and who have been like super supportive of things like my ads and like super engaging and kind and all those things. I'll probably invite those people too. But there is going to come a time where I feel like I'm done with this.
Can we just start an account and have like invite just trolls?
Oh my God.
Can we make a troll account?
Just have like direct everyone to like leave the shitty comments here so we can make fun of them when I feel like looking at them.
Patty Schmidt hater account.
Oh my God. I think we'll revisit these topics that we talk about like again in the future. And I feel like we might have said like a few things that are like somewhat provocative. I'm sure people will have like an opinion about it. But if you want us in a future episode to clarify something, or maybe we'll come back in like 6 months and have our minds changed about something. Maybe someone will actually put together a cohesive argument and we'll change our minds.
Doubtful.
I don't know. I'm pretty good at, if I'm wrong about something, I want my mind changed.
But I'm never wrong.
Never, ever. Okay. Is it a wrap?
It's a wrap. So
you want to wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up. If you have comments, questions, you can email us, or you can submit anonymous comments on read through the show notes.
Yeah, we have both of those links in the show notes. We have my email address and we have our anonymous message form. If you're enjoying our podcast and our rambles, our long-winded rambling, leave us a rating or a review, because that's super helpful with the visibility of your podcast, and it will help us to keep going. That would be great. Subscribe,
like,
all the things.
Follow.
That's it. Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Peace out.
Peace out.